Hello, and welcome to Brettcast Anime Talk. I have seen over and over people on here and other anime forums just go about and bash Sword Art Online and call it a bad anime. I really just don't think calling it a bad anime is correct. Don't take this as me defending it as much as it seems like it is. All I'm trying to say is that Sword Art Online isn't bad, but it's not good, and it's nowhere near perfect. Please note that this is all my personal opinion. I enjoy SAO, but I am able to see that there are flaws in the show, as with any anime. Yes, Kirito does really live up to his now meme-to-death name as Jesus-kun, because he really, really is portrayed like this in all of the SAO anime. He's pretty much the kind of main character that is never in danger of anything and can beat anyone who goes up against him. Also, Asuna starts as a really awesome character, but then in the second season of SAO, they lock her up and turn her into a hentai character. Pretty much. She basically is the best character of the entire show in the first season. And yes, I do agree that Yui is the worst character in the whole of SAO. I do agree that all the sexual scenes with Asuna were completely not necessary and are very stupid. Obviously, all the problems are due to the fact that the writer is not that good of a writer at all, but continues to write for the SAO series. Oh, and I do agree that the whole relationship crap between Kirito and his sister over the first half of the ALO story arc was awful. It just as unnecessary as the Asuna rape crap. Now, I personally didn't think that the Alfheim arc of SAO was that bad. Again, I totally agree that taking Asuna out of the picture was a dumb idea, and all the rape scenes, well, you know what I'm going to say about that. The SAO for me was one of the first anime that I watched. Someone came to me and asked me, "Hey, do you like video games?" I said, "Yeah." "Do you like anime?" I said, "I suppose so." "Then you need to watch SAO." So I did, and I have liked it ever since, though I have not yet watched that recent SAO movie, but I have watched the Mother's Basement video about it, and a lot of the flaws he points out I agreed with completely. Now, the fact that Kirito was able to master flying in just a short while is kind of not realistic, since the game makes you feel like you have these extra bones and muscles on you that you don't really have in real life. I would think that it would take forever to get the hang of flying in the way that ALO presents it. Plus, how in the universe does Kirito get so lucky to have all his SAO stats transfer over? That seems like a lazy way to say that we don't want to have to write something difficult for Kirito to do. Then, as I mentioned, there's the weird relationship thing at the start of ALO's arc between Kirito and his sister. It is weird and not necessary, but once it is revealed that who Kirito's person in real life is, and that it's her brother she's been crushing on this whole time, she immediately backs off of him. So really, it's not the worst thing, and I'm sure that plenty of other anime have done this. The action scenes and the animation quality are good in my opinion. Now, obviously, the whole thing about Kirito's character can make an action scene not interesting because you know that literally nothing will happen to him that's bad ever. I don't really think it's him though. Most of the main characters never die in the various SAO shows. Well, I guess Asuna technically did at the end of season 1, but that's a bit more complicated as to why she didn't die in real life. But that's a whole slew of a different problem. But there are a lot of other characters in this that adventure with Kirito and Asuna later in the series that also never die. Mostly because they're always saved by Kirito, since he has to be the painted as the most competent person in the series. I do have a problem with the fact that if there's ever a chance to put a camera angle or shot that can make a female character look way over sexualized, they do it. From upskirt shots or just making clothes / armor for girls really skimpy as it always seems to be. Then we get to SAO 2. Part of SAO has an interesting concept, but the problem with it has to do with Kirito. But I still enjoy all of SAO 2. You plop Kirito into the world of Gun Gale Online. It's got guns and things that Kirito has no skill with, right? Oh, but they have knockoff lightsabers that Kirito is automatically perfect at. This is another problem because at the end of Fairy Dance, Kirito created an entirely new character so he and Asuna could go through the new Aincrad. So even if he took his ALO character stats and transferred them, or didn't, he still would not have been that skilled with the lightsaber. Plus, he is somewhat skilled with guns, since he does use a handgun as well. But once the whole GGO arc is done, they all go back to ALO and find some super special sword that Kirito just has to have. In this, he fights and seems as powerful as his character from SAO when he transferred his SAO character stats to ALO. This is too fucking confusing. So he gets a really powerful sword called Excalibur, because of course it is. So even if you thought Kirito had some godlike abilities before, then you're sure to believe it now. Then there's the whole Mother's Rosario arc, which to me was the last and least interesting of all the arcs, despite the whole plot of the Fairy Dance arc. I feel like they just threw it in there to give the series another arc that was entirely disconnected from the GGO arc. I wanted to see more of the world of GGO, but I suppose once Kirito found Death Gun, which is why he's in GGO in the first place, so he really had no reason to stick around. Plus, he took Sinon, the 10th or 11th girl, to have a crush on him throughout all of SAO, back to ALO with them. Perhaps the whole of SAO 2 has more flaws than the first season of SAO did, but I still enjoy all of them. At some point, I do intend to find and watch that SAO movie, and am looking forward to the next season of the show regardless. I know there are a lot of people who hate on this series, Mother's Basement. And yes, it's not perfect by any means, but no anime ever is perfect to anybody and everybody. You may say that Attack on Titan is the best anime ever, and I would have to tell you that I think Attack on Titan was terrible, because that's what I would actually say. But that's all I have to say, so if you want to add to the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.